Yo, sometimes I be having a hard day at work and I go to the movies and forget all about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter if the movie's bad. I just want to be at the movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Sometimes bad movies are fun in itself.
Yeah.
Like if you're
Yeah.
with your partner or your friend or by yourself, you're just like, this is so bad. This is good. I
Yeah.
love that too.
And that's a perfect transition to our first spoiler review, a movie that, I went to the theater to go check out. Kenny also went, and I warned Evan not to go after he was wondering for the stream, but that's called After the Hunt. One of the most divisive movies of the year. It had a lot of Oscar, like, cinephile buzz going in because it's Luca Guadagnino, Trent Reznor Atticus Ross is doing a score, Ayo's in it, Julia Roberts, Andrew Garfield. It's about a very touchy subject. Basically, Ayo's character and Andrew Garfield's character go home, and he may or may have not assaulted her, and she goes to her mentor teacher, and that teacher's confused about what she needs to do because she's friends with Andrew Garfield's character, but she's also the mentor. Also, she's trying to fight for tenure, and she's trying not to mess up her life while upholding her values that she has front facing, maybe that she doesn't hold at heart. So, Kenny, just going into the movie, what was your initial impression of like what you were thinking about what was you gonna get out of the movie going into it?
So unfortunately, when I was going into the movie, I had already seen several of my friends say, "This is not it." Not it. And yeah, CC said the same thing. I think TJ said that as well, if I recall. And then you said it too. Going into it, I was already kind of like, I hope it's better than everybody's saying it is, or at least has some kind of like redeeming qualities that I can take away from it. There are no redeeming qualities to this movie, at least not to me. It literally inspired a post that I put on Threads where
Saw
I
that.
said you can agree with the message and the morals of everything a movie is saying and it still be a bad movie. Like there's no like quality here to support the messages that they were trying to say. And to be honest with you, I don't even know if I agree with the messages that it was trying to, I was going to say propagate, but I don't even know if that's the right word for that. The movie, just trying to perpetuate. We go and get a P word in here. So I left the theater. Well, actually, in the middle of the theater, it was bad when I started messaging Zach and my friends during the movie. Like, yo, what is this person doing? So I left the theater kind of feeling like a little depressed because I was like, this is bad. Like, one of my biggest pet peeves with film is when there's a good trailer and the movie's terrible. And I felt like After the Hunt had a pretty good trailer. It did not live up. Zach, what about you?
So initially going in, I was mixed, right? Because Luca Guadagnino, I wouldn't say I'm a fan of his stuff, but I like that he tries different things. Like I love Challengers, right? Challengers was one of the best movies that year. I was mixed on Queer, but Queer was one of those movies where I was like, oh, this is not great. But then like the more I thought about it, the more I liked it. And now I'm like buy it so I can rewatch it. And then After the Hunt, I was like, okay, this looks pretentious. It looks like it's gonna be pretty straightforward, and it looks like it's one of those movies where you have a bunch of famous actors in it, and it's the actual movie's not good. Like we get that almost every year. There's like 2-3 movies with kind of auteur director with a bunch of great actors, and then the movie's a bunch of nothing, right?
Did you see Bones and All?
Yeah, I wasn't a fan.
I haven't.
Yeah, it's not good either. He's
Not good
very
either.
Luca, like, isn't that? Yeah.
He's like that.
Roller coaster.
Which I'm fine with because I'm glad he's not like just doing the same thing over and over and over, because he has like highs like Challengers and Call Me by Your Name, but then he has Bones and All, which I call boring all.
He still he can still experiment, like he can still like mess around, which is good. He's not like
I want to see his Sergeant Rock film that he was doing for DC. Like, I'm still interested to see what he was going to do with that,
I know.
He reminds me of Yorgo Lanthimos a lot in terms of like, I love Poor Things, but I did not like Kinds of Kindness.
Lobster.
I haven't seen his movies before that. Oh, actually, I'm lying. I started Lobster and I was so bored I turned it off. And Kenny knows I
Killing of a
don't
Sacred
do
Deer.
that. I haven't seen that yet.
That's probably one of his best, in my opinion. It's like Barry Keoghan put him on the map pretty much.
Which movie is this?
The Killing of a Sacred Deer with
Amy Adams, Farrell, or something like that.
no. It's Colin Farrell, Nicole Kidman.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Yorgos at his best. It is like intense. You guys, I think, would really like it.
I have tickets for Begonia for this Thursday. We'll see if I like that.
That's right. I gotta get my tickets for that.
I already got my Emma Stone hair for it, so I'm good to go.
And she really shaved her head. That's not a wig.
Did you see the theater thing where they were there like early screenings? You got to shave your head or ask the DJ.
Okay. No.
I got enough money to buy tickets. I'll be all right.
Yeah, I'll just wait.
I have Ringo Unlimited. I'll be fine.
Right, right.
But yeah. So when I was going in, I was kind of like, because yeah, I also saw the bad reactions. I saw CC, I saw TJ, I saw other people be mixed. I've seen some 5-star reviews. I seen some half-star reviews. So I was like, oh, this is all over the place. But I like when movies are like that because then I can go in with no expectations and just make the movie wash over me, right?
Right.
So that was kind of what my expectations going in. Going out of it after watching it, this is a frustrating movie to watch. I think I like it more than Kenny does, but I'm not vibe that much. It's not a great film. There's a lot of parts of this movie I like, and there's a lot of parts of this movie that's boring. And me and Kenny talked about it. It's a movie where like I've never been like, oh, I like this, bored. I like this, bored. And it's like 2 hours and 20 minutes. Does not need to be that long. The narrative does not support the length of that. There's no standout performance in terms of like, oh my God, this was amazing performance. And I compare it to like Tar from 2022, a movie I did not like, but people loved.
People
Had a lot of
love that
Oscar
movie.
buzz. I think Kate Blanchett deserved her nomination because she was fantastic. See, the difference with Tar is like she was fantastic in Tar. One of the best performances of that year. So it was like, at least I saw one of the best performances of the year in a movie that bored the shit out of me. But in this, I was bored for lots of it, and it wasn't what I thought I was gonna get. The way the movie presents itself, unless we can get into spoilers now, it presents itself as a movie that's going to be about Ayo's character being assaulted and then everyone kind of exploring what happened there, maybe the systems that caused that and yada, yada, yada. That's not what we get in the movie. The movie is about what people who are performative do when the thing actually happens. So like you're the guy teacher and you put on women and you're like women rights and blah 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 blah, but then you potentially assaulted a woman. Or you're the woman that also supports women and you're like, oh yeah, assault is wrong and blah 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 blah. But then when your mentee gets assaulted, you're like 10 years on the line. It's everyone's reaction to the possible event, not the actual exploration of the event. So my mind had to change going to in like further into the movie. It was like, oh, they're not exploring if this happened or not, really. It's really just about everyone's reaction to if it happened or not, which I thought was interesting, but I think the movie spanned its wheels a lot, right? I think me and you, Kenny, talked about that. The movie spinning its wheels and staying in place for such a long time.
Yeah, for a lot of the movie, I felt exactly like Zach. I was bored for many swaths of this movie, but when it was actually having some interesting conversation, it was coupled with the worst score I've ever heard. The score was so invasive in this movie that every time someone ended a sentence, it was like, ding! It's like, stop that, please. There's a scene in a diner where Andrew Garfield and Julia
Roberts.
Julia Roberts, I don't know. And Julia Roberts are having this conversation, but it's almost drowned out completely by the sound of the score. It's like I said, it's invasive, it's blaring. I don't know if you guys or anybody in the chat has seen Highest to Lowest, but that's another movie that had a score that would not stop. It would not be defeated. And like, but the crazy thing, sidebar, about Highest to Lowest is it's a movie about a music mogul that has one of the worst score. Anyway, so
Wait, so is in this movie, is the score bad or is it just used at the worst times?
I think it's the second one.
The usage of
Okay.
the score is not good.
I don't know if I actually like the music. So, but like, unlike Highest to Lowest, I could actually see myself enjoying that score if it wasn't playing the entire film. Literally, the entire film. It would not stop. But in this movie, it was just always at the worst time. There's another conversation in the bar with Julia Roberts and her therapist, or Ayo's therapist. I forget which one it was. The score's also blaring during that scene. I'm just like, yo, I would love to listen to this actually interesting conversation that you finally brought to me, but I can't focus on it.
In Challengers, it worked, like it's the same people. It's Atticus Ross and
Trent Reznor.
and Trent Reznor, but it drives the story forward. Where like the music is them even sparring when they're not playing tennis. Like it had a purpose.
Right.
Sounds like in this, it had a purpose to just annoy the crap out of you.
I talked to you about this, Evan. I texted you about this, and I told you too, Kenny. I don't like Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross so far. You brought up Tron. I didn't realize they were 9 Inch Nails. But when it comes to Trent are not the band. Yeah, it was to me because he said that. I'm like, what? And I googled it.
Listen to Nine Inch Nails was not on my playlist growing up.
Yeah,
To be
I
honest.
think one of them are in Nine Inch Nails. I don't think both of them are.
Other
Oh,
okay.
yeah. And so, like, with Challengers, I did not like that score the way it was used. There's an important scene in that movie where it's blaring over Zendaya talking, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I can't hear what she's saying.
I actually felt the opposite. I actually loved it. But yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
but I think besides the blaring score and not being able to hear the dialogue and it being boring at points, I also just came away thinking about I don't even call it a message, but a lot of the things that the characters did in the movie that was just kind of like, am I supposed to care about this person? Like, am I supposed to like actually be invested in this character? So one of the conversations that comes up in the movie is with the mentor, with Julia Roberts. She gets into a situation where she's basically outed by Ayo in an article telling the public that she's my mentor. She covered up this assault of the sensual nature that happened to me, and all that's happening. And then a group of protesters like surround her, and she has these ulcers. She falls to the ground. She goes to the hospital, and then her husband comes in. And she's like, "What happened?" And that's my impression of his English accent. What happened there? So
Good.
thank you. And she's like, "Remember when I said that man sexually assaulted me when I was a child? That didn't happen,
I lied.
and I feel bad about it." And he's like, "You did nothing wrong." And I'm like, "What?" Because they make it a point to say, he's like, "Well, he says, and I agree with this." He says it's the adult's responsibility to make sure that the child, or to separate himself from the child if they're trying to. So just like it's the adults, the adult has the authority and their responsibility to separate themselves from that situation, right?
Right.
Yeah.
If he and he came on to you or whatever. He said, "No, he never came on to me." And then he says, "Still not your fault." I'm like, okay, time out. She literally like ruined this man's career in his life. And I'm like, okay, so what is the message here?
Right.
Because, and I'll let you go after this, Zach. It follows it up by going to I want to say a flashback, a time jump. A 5-year time jump after that scene to where Ayo and Julia Roberts' character meet for the first time in like 5 years. And they talk about how they wrote books and all these different kinds of things. They profited off the situation that happened. And they're also smiling with each other, hugging, you turned that into a good thing for yourself, didn't you? It's like, yeah, I'm sorry. It was whatever. But like the only thing I could come away with is like, and I told Zach, like, he would ask me like, what's your take on it? And I was like, you want my real take or the sanitized version? He's like, well, of course the real one, King, we're friends. So I was like, well, the real one is the real one is women be ruining people's lives and then saying, oopsie, oh, I'm just a girl. Can you blame me? Now, here's what I'm not saying. There are real victims. There are people who are absolutely like been victimized. There are more unreported sexual assault cases. I didn't want to use the R word. Sexual assault cases than there are not. This happens every day, unfortunately, and it's across the country, and
Not just
also
women. too.
not just women either. Yeah. So, we won't share that personal story. So, like, all kinds of things happen in this way. So that's not me like dismissing it, but it is this issue I had with the attitude of this movie, where it's like, hey, all this stuff is the men's fault, even when it's not your fault. It's the men's fault, and I'm like, what are we doing here?
It seems like it was such a sensitive topic that just wasn't handled well.
Handled at all.
It wasn't treated well at all.
Yeah.
Like, just completely brushed over all the things that go with this serious, very relevant today issue. It seemed like he just brushed over it, is what I'm getting. Like,
Yeah.
there's like nothing burger.
From what I'm hearing when I researched this is supposed to be a satirical drama, right? So it's supposed to be satirical.
Where's the satire?
That's the problem with the movie, is that it's supposed to be a satirical drama where it's showing all these people who are supposed to be performative and how they actually act when stuff gets serious. Which we did get that, but I don't think they dive deep enough into that, because we're worrying about Julia Roberts' ulcers. We're worried about Ayo Edebiri's girlfriend who has nothing to do with the plot. We're worrying about Andrew Garfield disappears throughout the movie and we don't know what he's doing, why is he doing it, and what his repercussions for the thing that he may or may have not done.
Yeah, he was
And-
accused of this thing.
Yeah.
And then he disappears for the rest of the movie, shows back up in Julia Roberts' apartment, and he's like, "Do you believe me?" He's like,
And then almost did it again.
and they almost did it again. Yeah. So you didn't help your case with the audience.
Oh, he did do it.
Right. I do have a question for you, Zach. I'm sorry.
Let me go answer it real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
What made you not want to watch this movie at all?
Man, I was like you guys, I was really excited after that first trailer. I'm like, here we go. Like, this is important topic that needs to be covered. And these are the actors that could do it. Andrew Garfield is just one of the best doing it right now. And then to see, his trajectory after the Bear, it's just like, wow, like the cast is there, Luca's there, has something to say. And then I think, what was it, Sundance or Venice? It might be Venice. It started to come out more like this might not be the movie like that people thought it was.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, just like friends tell me like that it was not good. I'm like, all right, like I don't know. I've been a little bit more selective, I would say, with like movies I'm gonna spend money on. You know what I mean? And like Black Phone, like I really like the first one, and also a horror movie like this in theaters with people around you, like the cast and stuff. Like that's the best part. In this, it's like, well, I'm hearing it's not good, and then on top of that, it's not a movie that you go to the theater for to be like, oh man, can you believe that happened? So it's just like, so I don't know. I mean, I still maybe give it a chance, like when it comes out, in streaming, which will happen very quickly because people don't like it. But you guys were saying the biggest surprise in your list. This sounds like it is the biggest disappointment on your list because of the people that were on this project and how promising it was to the results that you got. It seemed like, I'm shaking my head here listening to it because I'm like, dang, you had Julia back in the game. You had Andrew, you have Ayo, you have Luca, you have the dude that he always uses, who's great, Michael Stuhlbarg, and so it's like you had it all there and you still crap the bed. So I don't know. The disappointment is what's really sad because you had the pieces, you just didn't put it together at all.
And I think with me is like, I would say still, if you haven't watched the movie, don't go run the theater, but do check it out when it gets to streaming.
Okay.
All of these
See for
kind of
yourself.
see for yourself. I always say that.